Hello and welcome to my lovely channel. This time around I'm making a voiceover for this concept art that I'm making for League of Legends because I heard that concept arts looks good on portfolios. I'm making one and I'll probably be making more in the future. I don't know yet. I may make some, I'm not. I don't know. But anyways, this is Amon and Rusiel, and I'm not gonna tell you their whole story. That is in the description if you want to read it for yourself, as their abilities and all those things. But anyways, Amon and Rusiel, their story is kind of like that rich boy and that poor boy, and they meet together. Anyways, Amon is from Piltover, and he's not a high class Piltover resident. He's kind of like, he's there, but he's not like super rich. While Rusiel, he resides in Zon. As we all know, it's the lower suburban parts of Piltover. And so they met as children, and Amon was out studying with his teacher, and his teacher fell asleep, and Rusiel was spying on Amon because it's his first time to see such a rich and good looking kid such as Amon. And so Rusiel was, dirty. He was small. He was cute in a sense. Did I say Amon or did I say Rusiel? I don't know. Amon he's the one from Piltover, and Rusiel is the one from Zon. Anyways, okay. Fast forward to when they grew into teens. Rusiel became much taller than Amon. He became more muscular, and Amon was kind of like, oh, what happened? Where is that cute child that I once knew? And so yeah, that's their story. Fast forward to when they are adults. They ended up as lovers, Amon and Rusiel. And Amon became like a scientist in Piltover, and he wanted to. He kind of stays in Piltover, Rusiel, he's the free-spirited guy, and he likes to go on adventures, kind of like Ezreal, but Ezreal has the financial, ability to do that, while Rusiel is poor AF. Anyways, a very rich woman from Piltover then takes interest on Amon, and that woman finds out that Amon has a lover, and that lover is Rusiel. And so this woman plots to get rid of Rusiel, so he hires a spy to keep in tab with both Amon and Rusiel. So one night, Amon and Rusiel were talking in their house, in their home by the river Pilt, and Rusiel mentioned to Amon, Rusiel, what the heck was that? Anyways, Rusiel mentioned to Amon that Rusiel wanted to go to the Shadow Isles, and so Amon was like, oh, don't go there. I don't know if I added this in the story, but whatever. Oh, don't go there, it's very dangerous. But Rusiel said that there was a ring that would, if you give if you give to your lover, then both of you will be granted that your love will last forever. Basically, Rusiel plans to propose to Amon. But Amon's like, no, I don't need that kind of ring. All I need is you, blah 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 blah. But the woman from Piltover, the one who took interest in Amon, he okay, let me pause for a bit. This guy that I'm drawing right now, he is Amon. I don't know if I mentioned this. This guy that I'm drawing is Amon. The one with the mask is Rusiel. The mask and the chains will be I'll explain it later. Anyways, the lady who has an interest in Amon heard of this, and she offers Rusiel transportation to the Shadow Isles, and Rusiel was like, heck yeah, I'll accept that. And so Rusiel wasted no time, and he went to the Shadow Isles. Once they went to the Shadow Isles, yeah, the lady got rid of him, and that's where the mask came in. The people that the lady hired to kill Rusiel, they placed a mask on his face so that he won't ever be identified. He was chained to a tree, I think, if I remember correctly from my story. He was chained to a tree, and he was stabbed through his chest, and then it went through his chest and to the tree so that he won't be able to budge. So yeah, he was killed. And so Amon was left in Piltover waiting for Rusiel. Years and years passed, and slowly but surely, Amon was being dragged into insanity. I'm sorry for not being able to speak properly. Anyways, Amon was slowly being dragged into insanity, and the woman was starting to make the moves on Amon, but Amon moved to Zon and left Piltover. I mean, it's not that big of a move, but still, he was pretty much not. He's off the face of the earth basically in Zon, because the woman wasn't able to find him. But in Zon, he came to the conclusion that he would want to go to the Shadow Isles to find Rusiel. And so that he did. He went to the Shadow Isles, and he found out Rusiel's dead. Rusiel, who is now a spirit, has attached himself to the life force of Amon, so wherever Amon goes, Rusiel goes. So that's basically how, I can't explain it very specifically without taking all of my time, but basically that's what happened. Anyways, I want to talk a bit about their playstyle. Amon and Rusiel, I want both forms to really work together. Like Nidalee, for example, when Nidalee has a mark, when you transform into a cougar, the W will have increased range. In Rusiel and Amon's case, it's much more complicated than that, where Amon's kit will help Rusiel deal more damage, and Rusiel being able to attack makes Amon deal more damage. So let me explain this. Amon has two basic attacks: the Shadow's Terror and Zon's Terror and Shadow's Curse. The player will be forced to pick in the start of the game before leaving base, and it will stay that way for the rest of the game. You can't change it anymore. So Amon's passive is called Rusiel, the Fallen Ally. Basically, Rusiel's spirit will follow him around, and whoever he attacks, Rusiel will attack. It's basically like an Eri, the rune Eri. And so, but Rusiel for a few seconds before going back to Amon. If Amon leaves Rusiel too far, like if Amon traverses too far from Rusiel, the enemy champion that Rusiel is in, Rusiel will immediately go back to Amon without dealing the damage whatsoever. And yeah, and when you transform into Rusiel, whoever Amon attacks last, whoever enemy champion Amon attacks last will have a mark on them, and the first attack, like Q, W, E, SS, whatever Rusiel uses on that enemy champion, the mark will be consumed, dealing additional damage. Their cue is your turn. For if you're in Rusiel's, if you're in Amon's form, you will leap backwards and you will leave behind corrupted soil. People, champions, and minions who are in corrupted soil will take damage over time. And yeah, Rusiel, once Amon lands, Rusiel will then take over. If you're in Rusiel's form, Rusiel will dash a short distance, and any champions only, that are caught between the dash will then be chained. So they will be stunned for a few seconds. Their W ability, and then after the dash of Rusiel, Amon will then change into Amon's form. So it's like Jinx, where you can switch between Q, using Q, between Rocket Launcher and Fishbones. Anyways, their W ability is a gift for Amon and onto you for Rusiel. Let me explain a gift. A gift is Amon will throw like a vial of Zon's liquids onto a targeted place, and that targeted place will then have corrupted soil. This ability has 3 charges for Amon, and once he leaves base, he can only conjure up to 2 charges until he returns to base, where he will get an additional charge. In Rusiel's form, onto you, Rusiel will dash toward a nearby champion, enemy champion, and damaging them for a short amount of time, and stunning them. So basically, it's like a dash and then a stun. It's, of course, it's not a stun. You can stun. It's a targeted ability. I was thinking it's a targeted ability. Anyways, E is Spectre for Amon and Deathly Blow for Rusiel. Amon will summon a Spectre at a targeted location. It will only last for a few seconds. That Spectre will deal a few damage for any champions that are nearby, enemy champions that are nearby, and then it will immediately go back to Amon, healing him for the damage that was dealt. In Rusiel's form, Deathly Blow, Rusiel will dash to the back of an enemy champion and deal a punch that damages. This is a click and teleport ability, basically, I was thinking. Their R ability is like, it's kind of like T-Burst and Daisy in a sense, where if you are, but it's different. If you are in Amon's form, if you are using Amon, Rusiel will materialize behind an enemy champion. He will drag the enemy champion a short distance and then slam them down before auto-attacking the champion. In Rusiel's form, Amon will materialize, he will make an area explode, and then he will start auto-attacking. And then if you double press R, you will change your control between Amon and Rusiel. So basically, both Amon and Rusiel are now in the battlefield. So that's nice. But if you're, let's say you're controlling Amon, Rusiel won't be able to use his abilities, but he will only be able to auto-attack. Anyway, if you're, let's say, controlling Amon and Rusiel is killed, you won't be able to transform into Rusiel, but you will still be able to. If both forms are alive, you can still able to use Q, but you won't be able to transform into the other form. Gets? Okay. If you take damage, if you take damage, the other form will receive quarter of the damage. If the other form is bursted to death, for example, like by a Lux combo, you will live, but only with quarter of your health. Anyway, just like Tibers, if he strays too far from Annie, he'll immediately teleport back to his side. The other, okay, I think, if you die, let's say you're controlling Amon and you die, Rusiel will throw out all the abilities that he has that is not on cooldown, and then Rusiel will then to die. If you back with your ultimate up, like let's say if you back with both Amon and Rusiel in the battlefield, the ultimate will immediately cancel and you will be switched back to Amon. That is if you recall fully. Okay, so I won't explain any other combos that they have, like concerning Corrupted Soil, because there are some skill shots that Amon and Rusiel has that that are affected by Corrupted Soil. It's all in the website that I used it's all in the website that I created using Wix. This is sponsored. No, I'm just kidding. It's not sponsored by Wix, but it's just a simple website where I, used to post Amon and Rusiel's story because it's quite long. I made it quite long. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening.